Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will be talking about how you can capture raw DNG images in Expo React Native for Android. So yeah, let's get started. We will be using CameraX. Now before I show you guys the output, I want to make it very clear at the time of me recording this video there is no third-party library available to achieve this functionality. So we need to write native code for this. So let's get started. So first here you can see I'm running my application. It is asking me for camera permission first. I'll just give the camera permission and I'm displaying a toast message saying raw JPEG is supported. If you get a toast message saying raw JPEG is not supported, then you won't be able to capture this raw DNG images in your device. So that's very important. So here you can see I have a capture button. I'll just click on this capture button and it will record the image for me. And for some reason the rotation of the image is very weird. It is in wrong rotation. I don't know why. If you know, do let me know in the comments. But anyways, I can just easily go to the files app. I can go to images and here you can see the image has been saved to external storage as well. So it does take a bit of time to load because it is a raw DNG image. So what I'll do is I'll just go back and I'll just delete this image for now, because at the end of this tutorial I want to show you one more thing. So yeah, stay tuned. So let's first create an Expo React Native project. So you will just have to go to this particular URL over here. I'll just open it and I'm using the TypeScript template, blank TypeScript template, but you can use whatever template you feel like. So you can just run your application, like create an application by running this command, and it will ask you for an application name. So just give some application name. Then you need to go to this particular URL over here. Again, I'll just quickly copy it and paste it inside a new tab over here, and here you will have to select Android device. Here you will have to select development build. I have disabled ES, then go to macOS operating system or whatever your OS is. I have already done all of this setup. So I have installed Watchman, Kazulu, Java Home, then I have installed Android Studio. I have done all the Android Studio setup as well. Then I have done all this setup as well. Then you need to cd to your Expo React Native project inside your terminal and then run this particular command. Once you run this command, you need to run this particular command. So this will create an Android folder for you. So let me just quickly show you. So here you can see the Android folder being created over here. Once that is done, you need to create a module as well. So again, I'll just open this inside a new tab over here. So again, I'll just simply scroll it down and I'll just copy this particular command over here, and it will ask you some questions like what should be the module name and everything. I have kept everything as default, so you can just press enter 3 times and hopefully things, yeah, it will create a module for you. So let me quickly show you the module which has been created. So I'll just close this cheat sheet. So here you can see inside the module. So this is the module which has been created. So first what you need to do is you need to go to src, and here you need to go to, I think, my modules.type.ts, and here we need to create a native view, right? So by default we had these two properties, so I have just commented this out because we don't require any prop, and instead of an onload event I have renamed it as on image taken because that makes more sense in our use case. So yeah, that's what I have done, and style thing I have just kept it as it is. So yeah, nothing changes on the style part over here. Next, what you need to do is I don't think I have made any changes over here. Let's go to app.tsx. Let's see first how to use it. So first, these are all the imports which I have added. Okay, then here I have one state for image URI, one state for camera permission. Here I am just checking whether the user is using Android 10 or higher. Then here we have defined one method which basically checks whether the user has granted all the requesting the permission first, and then here we are just checking whether user has granted all the permissions or not, and if yes, then we just change this particular state. That's it. Okay, then inside use effect we just call request camera and storage permission. Here if image URI is not equal to empty, then once we get the image we display it inside our image view, right? And here is our my module view as well. So basically this will display the camera view. So these are the style for our camera, and here we get a callback. So once we get the callback we just set the image as well over here. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Then you need to go to the Android folder. So first go to the main Android folder over here, go to app, src, main, Android manifest.xml, and here I have added two things: uses feature of Android hardware camera as well as this camera permission. Now this write external storage was present by default, so in case if you don't see this inside your Expo React Native project, make sure you add this permission as well. Then you need to go to modules, my module Android, go to build.gradle over here, and here you need to add dependencies. So first you need to add camera core. Again, make sure you are using 1.5.1 or later, because this feature is only available from 1.5.1 or later. Then I have added camera 2, camera lifecycle, camera view, and we also require the app compat dependency. Then you need to go to src main java. First let's go to my module.kt, and here you need to scroll down, and here you will see this code. You just have to comment this out because we are not passing any prop. You also need to comment out this on load event, and here we just need to add this on image taken event over here. Then here is our my module view.kt. So firstly, these are, again you will see some boilerplate code inside this file. You just have to delete that particular code. Make sure the package name you keep it as it is. Now these are all the imports, so feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports. Then here is our model view class. Okay, here is our event dispatcher. Here we are getting hold of our activity. This is the frame layout, camera, preview view, image capture, button. This is the camera view, preview view again, and this is camera executor as well as camera provider. We are getting the back facing lens. Then we set the frame layout to our layout params to our frame layout, add frame layout to our view. Then here we set the layout params to our viewfinder as well. Here we call install hierarchy filter. I'll talk more about this later on. Then here we set the text background color, text color as well, and here we set the layout params to our button as well. Then we just add capture button to our frame layout. Then here we add a click listener as well, in which we just call take photo. Then here we have this on attached to window, where we just check whether we have camera permission, and if yes, then we call setup camera. And inside on detach from window, we shut down our camera executor as well as unbind our camera provider. Then here we call install hierarchy filter. So this is basically a hack which we need to do. If you don't call this, you will just see a black screen. You will not see your live camera preview. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to this particular URL over here. This issue has been open since past 8 to 9 years. They have still not fixed it. Then here we call setup camera, where we get hold of our camera provider future. We add a listener. Then we get our camera provider future.get. We call our bind camera use case as well. Then here we get our viewfinder.display rotation. Then we get our camera provider. We initialize our camera selector as well as the camera info. Then initialize aspect ratio strategy. This is for checking the capabilities. Then we initialize resolution selector, initialize the preview view as well. Then initialize image capture.builder, and if the capability support output raw image DNG format, then we just display toast message and set output format, else we just display a toast message over here. Okay, now in case if it doesn't support, yeah, maybe you can set it to JPEG format as well. Okay, then here we set the capture mode, and here we add the use case group builder. Then we unbind our camera provider, we bind it to the life cycle, and here we set the surface provider as well. Then here we call take photo, where we get hold of our image capture. Here we define name for our image. Then this is for raw DNG. In case if it is not supported, you will have to write an if check over here. I have not written that. I'll leave that up to you. Okay, so again, this is content image capture for raw DNG as well. This is content values for raw DNG. I'll come back to this code in a bit. Then we do image capture dot take picture output options raw. I have commented this thing out. Then we get hold of our main executor. We override on image saved. We send the URL of the saved image back. We unbind our camera provider, and here we just have helpful method to check whether we have the camera permissions or not, and these are some variables. Now the second thing which I want to show you, so yeah, that's it. That's how you can capture. The second thing which I wanted to show you is how you can capture JPEG images as well along with raw DNG. So for that, it is pretty simple actually. What I will do is I'll just copy this. I'll scroll down. Firstly, you need to comment this code out as well. So I'll just comment this code out. Okay, and I'll just uncomment this one, not comment. Okay, so this is for capturing JPEG images as well. So in case if raw does not support, then maybe you inside else clause you can write this. but and here you need to uncomment this as well. But here in case if you are adding an if check, then you'll have to either pass output options or output options. Okay, so don't pass both. Here we are passing both because my device supports both. And you need to do one more thing, which is over here you need to write output format raw jpeg, and same over here as well, and then just run your application. So I have already ran the application. Let me quickly show you guys the output. Let me bring up my application. Okay, why is Android Studio not opening up? Okay, so here you can see again the same thing. So now when I click on capture, it will only show one image, which is fine. So this is actually jpeg image. So first we are capturing raw dng and then jpeg, but at the time what happens is it sends raw dng image url, then it immediately sends jpeg image url. So jpeg image takes precedent and it only displays jpeg image. Okay, but if you see your files app, here you can see both images has been recorded. So this is the raw dng image, which takes a bit of time to load, and this is the okay, I'm not able to slide. So this is the jpeg which loads immediately. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.